Welcome to Akamai Developer. Our mission at Akamai Developer is to offer you a better experience to solve technology challenges such as cybersecurity, web performance, and media delivery, as well as manage your Akamai solutions. This is achieved by providing tools and resources that help you effectively use the Akamai Edge platform and the Akamai Developer Toolbox, as well as integrate Akamai easily into your digital ecosystem. Again, welcome to the Akamai Developer Foundations, the training course to start your Akamai developer journey. This Akamai Developer Foundations training course is designed to help you on your Akamai developer journey in 4 key areas. First, understand what Akamai Developer is, which tools are available in the Akamai Developer Toolbox, and how you can best utilize them. Second, understand how you can get started with Akamai Developer, including the prerequisites for making your first action with any of the main Akamai Developer tools. And thirdly, understand how to discuss Akamai Developer and show the value of using the toolbox in conjunction with the Akamai solutions across our portfolio. And finally, understand where you can find more resources to get answers to your questions. This training course is designed for anyone interested in Akamai Developer. Whether you are a customer for many years, a brand new customer that just joined Akamai, one of the many partners who operate and manage Akamai solutions, or even a prospect interested in working with Akamai solutions, this training course can help you get started, not only with the Akamai solutions, but also with integrating easily into your digital ecosystem and DevOps workflows. If you are working for Akamai, especially for those working with our customers, partners, and prospects, this training course can also be of interest to you. Many companies today are looking for easier ways to utilize vendor services in an automated way. This training course will help you in your ability to showcase the Akamai Developer Toolbox and how you can answer questions you receive. The training course is designed to be consumed in 3 different ways. Through video. By following the video playlist, you will be guided through all the material with accompanying slides and screen shares. Through audio. Following the audio podcast, you will be guided through all the material as well, or through reading the material. Now, regardless of your choice, each way contains the same material. For those on video or audio, links to the additional resources are provided in the descriptions. Now let's take a look at the structure of the training course. And the training course consists of 7 parts. First, this introduction to the Akamai Developer Foundations training course. Next, what is Akamai Developer? This introduction will explain the 3 key areas of Akamai Developer, which are Akamai as code, Akamai as data, and Akamai plus ecosystem. This part will also showcase the key tools in the Akamai Developer Toolbox. Next is the DevOps Workflow, a short rundown on the main terminology used in DevOps, DevSecOps, and automation workflows, including a highlight of the main tools and vendors that companies often utilize. Next is getting started with Akamai Developer, a breakdown on all the key Akamai Developer tools, how you can install them, and start using them on your platform of choice. After that, we have Talk about Akamai Developer. It's best practices on how to talk about Akamai Developer inside of your organization or with your customers and partners, and how to ask the right questions. And to round it out, we have the resources and recap on Akamai Developer. It acts as a section where you learn more about where you can go for information, as well as help, and serve as a recap. Now, outside of that material, we also have a hands-on Akamai Developer Lab, which is a lab exercise which will teach you and show you all the required actions to try out many of the Akamai Developer tools. We hope that this training course will give you a better understanding on what Akamai Developer is, what the toolbox offers, and how you can best utilize this in your digital ecosystem and workflows. We welcome you to share your experience and feedback with us so that we can continuously improve this training course for those after you to consume. We want to thank you very much for your time on this training course, and let's get started on your Akamai developer journey. Welcome to Akamai Developer Foundations. This is the second part of the training course. In the first part, we introduced the Akamai Developer Foundations training course and highlighted the goal of the training course as well as outlined the structure. If you haven't consumed that yet and are wondering why you are here, please feel free to take a look at the first part. That said, in this second part, we will be going over the main areas of Akamai Developer, what value Akamai Developer brings, as well as highlight the key tools that make up the Akamai Developer Toolbox. First, a quick and final reminder on the Akamai Developer mission. Our mission at Akamai Developer is to offer you a better experience to solve technology challenges such as cybersecurity, web performance, and media delivery, as well as manage your Akamai solutions. This is achieved by providing tools and resources that help you effectively use the Akamai Edge platform and the Akamai Developer Toolbox, as well as integrate Akamai easily into your digital ecosystem. In the 2010s, the industry saw a rise in the DevOps movements. DevOps is a set of practices that combines software development, the dev part, and information technology operations, the ops part, which aims to shorten the system's development lifecycle, often through the automation of processes, and provide continuous delivery of high software quality. We will go over more DevOps terminology in the next part. Now that said, with thousands of companies relying daily on the Akamai Edge platform and the Akamai solutions in the portfolio, Akamai, of course, has also joined the DevOps movement by offering customers and partners the ability to manage their Akamai solutions and data through a set of tools, mostly consisting of Akamai APIs and other tools that act as wrappers for those APIs, such as the Akamai CLI, a command line interface, or the Akamai Terraform provider. Now, traditionally, Akamai offers a rich user interface called the Akamai Control Center to manage your Akamai solutions. However, the user interface becomes a bottleneck when you are looking to streamline your development lifecycle through automation. And this is where the Akamai Developer Toolbox can play a great role in helping you achieve more easier. Even simple Akamai management tasks like purging a cached object or updating a DNS record managed through the Akamai Edge DNS solution can be executed with just one simple command. Now let's take a look at the Akamai Developer Trifecta. Akamai Developer aims to assist you in these three key areas of managing your Akamai solutions. First, Akamai as code. The ability to manage Akamai solutions through tools and code such as the Akamai development environment, Akamai APIs, and of course these wrappers such as the Akamai CLI, Akamai Terraform provider, as well as code examples for integrating it with a variety of programming languages. The aim here is for a full CRUD, which stands for create, read, update, and delete, and this CRUD workflow through these tools without the need to rely on the Akamai Control Center. Now, this also includes support for automated CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery workflow, including all the DevOps phases. Secondly is Akamai as data. The ability to access and utilize Akamai data, such as logs and events, to help with the monitoring and continuous improvement of the services that a company offers. The use of Akamai solutions as a critical part of the digital ecosystems relies not only on the functional use, but also on the actionable data that is available. Data stream or SIEM integration are two key Akamai solutions that play a key role here, and you can use this data to integrate with any of your monitoring tools. Which brings us to the third piece, the Akamai Plus ecosystem. It is the ability to integrate Akamai solutions into other tools and technologies that a company implements in their DevOps workflow or digital ecosystem. This can of course be tied into either Akamai as code or Akamai as data. These integrations often range from connectors or vendor-specific implementations that can help achieve the efficiency of Akamai solutions. Also added into this area is also the ability to move functional logic from other services to the Akamai Edge, which solutions such as Akamai Edge Workers, Cloudlets, or Akamai Image Manager. Categorizing Akamai Developer into this Akamai Developer trifecta helps make Akamai Developer and the tools more easy to relate to and structure your efforts on managing your Akamai solutions. These three areas can help tremendously in the DevOps workflow or toolchain, and we'll have more on this in part 3. The Akamai portfolio offers a wide variety of solutions to help tackle different technology challenges, such as protecting your assets such as applications, APIs, identities, content, from many of the security threats out there, as well as delivering and caching the same assets with the highest performance possible. Each of these Akamai solutions comes equipped with the ability to manage the solution through Akamai as code or rely on the data provided for this solution through Akamai as data. And in certain cases, it will also offer you the ability to integrate that solution into your digital DevOps ecosystem. Now, before we go ahead and explain how to get started with Akamai Developer, we will first go through the DevOps terminology, highlighting the traditional DevOps workflow, also known as a toolchain. This helps guide you in understanding where each Akamai developer area and tool fits best in your DevOps workflow. We hope that we've explained Akamai Developer at a high level, showcased the value that it can bring, and introduced you to each of the three main trifectas, as well as the main key tools. We look forward to welcoming you in the third part. As always, thank you very much for your time on this training course, and let's continue on your Akamai developer journey. Welcome to Akamai Developer Foundations. This is the third part of the training course, and in the second part we explained what Akamai Developer is, the value that it can bring, and the three key areas that make up the Akamai Developer trifecta: Akamai as code, Akamai as data, and Akamai Plus ecosystem. If you haven't consumed that yet and you are wondering why you're here, please feel free to take a look at the second part. That said, in this third part, we will go through the DevOps terminology, highlighting the traditional DevOps workflow, also known as a toolchain. And this helps guide you in understanding where each Akamai developer area and tool fits best in the DevOps workflow. A DevOps workflow or toolchain is a set of combination of tools that aid in the delivery, development, and management of software applications through the system's development lifecycle, as coordinated by an organization that uses DevOps practices. DevOps can also be extended to DevSecOps, which adds in security, the teams responsible for executing a company's security strategy into the DevOps workflow. Both DevOps and DevSecOps rely heavily on automation through tools. Through automation, relying on predefined processes and scripts that are executed by machines and require limited to no manual execution. For instance, logging into the Akamai Control Center to deploy a configuration change. As DevOps is intended to be a cross-functional mode of working, those who practice the methodology use different set of tools, referred to as tool chains, rather than a single one. These tool chains are expected to fit into one or more of the following categories, reflective of key aspects of the development and delivery process. Now let's take a look at how this works. First, coding. Think about code development and review, source code management tools, code merging. When it comes to Akamai, each delivery configuration, each security configuration, or even DNS zones and records can be treated as Akamai as code. So the toolbox plays a huge part in the coding workflow. The ability to integrate and store your configurations together with other code in your source code management tools such as Git or GitHub are critical to collaborating with your teams and managing Akamai as code. Second, building. Here you think about continuous integration tools, build statuses. Here it is also critical that Akamai as code plays a major role. When you're creating a new version of your application that is delivered and or protected by Akamai solutions, it is important that the Akamai solutions are of course taken into consideration during the build process. Integrating Akamai as code into your continuous integration tools such as Jenkins is very easy to achieve and highly recommended. Thirdly, we have packaging. Think about artifact repositories or pre-prod deployments on staging pre-prods. The ability to package all your Akamai changes together and roll them out in a staging or pre-prod environment are extremely important in this packaging phase. You can rely on logs and headers from the Akamai Staging X service to act as Akamai's data. Fourth, we have testing. Think about continuous testing tools that provide quick and timely feedback on business risks. The ability to test your Akamai configuration changes in an automated way can help you mitigate issues faster in your DevOps workflow. As part of Akamai as code, tools like the Akamai Sandbox can help you test changes locally before they are packaged and released. You are also able to rely on Akamai as data with the feedback you get from local testing through the Akamai Sandbox. In the fifth phase, we have releasing. Think about change management, release approvals, and release automation. And with Akamai as code, the ability to roll out your Akamai changes through tools are easy to achieve, and with fast deployment times on the Akamai Edge platform, changes are live in a matter of minutes for the majority of the Akamai solutions as of 2020. And in the sixth phase, we have configuring. Now here you have to think about your infrastructure configuration and management. Infrastructure as code tools. Again, the ability to treat your Akamai as code through infrastructure as code tools, such as the Akamai Terraform provider, can help integrate Akamai into your overall infrastructure as code ecosystem. As you can see, on the left side, you basically have the dev part, and on the right side, you have the ops part, the DevOps. But let's look at one more phase, which is the monitoring phase. Think about applications performance monitoring, end user experience. Think about monitoring your security threats. And Akamai offers a wide variety of solutions that can help achieve Akamai as data. Solutions such as DataStream for general Akamai as data logs, Mpulse for Akamai real user monitoring to tackle performance monitoring, or even SIEM integration to monitor security threats that can help you with your DevOps and DevSecOps strategies. Now, some categories are more essential in a DevOps toolchain than others, especially continuous integration like Jenkins, GitLab, Bitbucket, as well as infrastructure as code like through Terraform or Ansible and Puppet. But Akamai offers easy integrations into your digital ecosystems and DevOps workflow with the Akamai Plus ecosystem focus in each of these phases. Akamai Developer brings the Akamai Developer Toolbox to the table, each with a specific focus. Again, the Akamai as code, Akamai as data, or Akamai Plus ecosystem to help in each of these 7 stages of the DevOps workflow. Now with that, we will leave the theory and terminology space and dive into more practical matters. There are countless of excellent resources that you can consume for more information on DevOps and DevSecOps, ranging from the mindsets to dozens of tools often used in workflows. DevOps has brought forth a fresh wave of doing things more easy and more efficiently in the 2010s, and we encourage you to continue on your own DevOps journey by learning more through the amazing content that you can find online. Now in Akamai Developer Foundations, however, next we will go ahead and start lifting the covers of Akamai Developer and showcase how you can get started with the Akamai Developer and the toolbox. We hope that we have explained the DevOps workflow at a high level, showcased the value that it can bring, and introduced you to Akamai Developer and how it can play a role in each DevOps phase. We look forward to welcoming you in the fourth part, Getting Started with Akamai Developer. As always, thank you very much for your time today on this training course, and let's continue on your Akamai Developer journey. Welcome to Akamai Developer Foundations. In this part, we will be going over getting started with Akamai Developer. And getting started with Akamai Developer is easier than you think. To summarize, you will need to execute 3 simple steps to start. First, you will need to select a tool with which you will perform the Akamai Developer actions. We recommend the Akamai development environment, which comes pre-installed with HTTPie to execute Akamai API requests, the Akamai CLI with all the relevant packages, as well as Terraform and curl. Now you can also select another tool like Postman, a graphical user interface, or integrate Akamai APIs inside of your favorite programming language. Second, you will need to log into Akamai Control Center and create an Akamai API client under your account. You will have to create the right permissions to the API endpoints you require access to and generate a set of API credentials that your tool of choosing can use to authenticate Akamai requests through something called Akamai Edge Grid authentication. And thirdly, you can go ahead and set up your use case and automate it. This can range from simple Akamai actions like purging or going full Akamai as code for many of the Akamai solutions in the portfolio. You can always check out developer.akamai.com for a variety of use cases that our colleagues and customers have documented for you. Now, with these 3 simple steps summarized, let's take a look on how to install each of the major tools and how to execute a basic action with each of them in the Getting Started with Akamai Developer series. Welcome to Akamai Developer. Our mission at Akamai Developer is to offer you a better experience to solve technology challenges such as cybersecurity, web performance, and media delivery, as well as manage your Akamai solutions. Now, this is achieved by using the Akamai Edge platform, but also by using the Akamai Developer Toolbox and by integrating easily into your digital ecosystem. Akamai Developer aims to assist you in 3 key areas of managing your Akamai solutions. There is Akamai as code, which is the ability to manage your Akamai configurations and settings through code. There is Akamai as data, which is the ability to utilize Akamai data to your benefit. And finally, we have the Akamai Plus ecosystem, the ability to integrate Akamai into your digital ecosystem, as well as move logic to the edge. Now you might be wondering what we have in the Akamai Developer Toolbox to get started, and if you are, you're in the right place. Next, we will explain the key tools that you can utilize and get started to manage your Akamai solutions. We recommend that you get started by installing the Akamai development environment, as it bundles many of the required tools together. Next, we also recommend that you create an Akamai API client with the accompanying API credentials so that you can properly authenticate your requests through Akamai Edge Grid authentication. We hope that the next videos will give you a better understanding on what the Akamai Developer Toolbox offers and how you can best utilize this in your digital ecosystem and workflows. For more information, please visit developer.akamai.com. Thank you very much for your time today, and happy Akamizing. Welcome to Getting Started with the Akamai Development Environment. I am Mike Ellison, Developer Advocate at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started with the Akamai Development Environment. Akamai offers a rich library of approximately 100 different APIs, as well as command line interface or CLI packages that allow you to manage your Akamai solutions. Whether it is making a change to your Akamai delivery configuration or retrieve the latest traffic reports, the ability to execute these requests are available to you, and it might be easier to start with than you think. The Akamai development environment offers you a simple solution in bundling the required tools together to help you get started faster. This comes in the form of a Docker image that can be customized depending on your needs. You can install the full image or only cherry pick the tools that you require. Now, once you've installed Docker on your platform of choice, you can run one simple command to download the Akamai Docker image to have your Akamai development environment fully up and running. And you can find additional instructions on our Akamai GitHub on github.com/akamai/Akamai Docker. Now, additionally, in order to use the tools included that utilizes the Akamai APIs, you will need to properly authenticate your requests with Akamai Edge Grid authentication. We recommend watching the accompanying video, Getting Started with Akamai APIs, Creating an API Client, to create an API client with the proper API tokens for you to use in your Akamai development environment. Now let's get started with a quick demo to showcase how easy it is to install the Akamai development environment. Ensure that Docker is installed and running, and once that is configured, run the following command. In this sped up view, you can see the Docker image is now downloading and installing, and this process takes less than 3 minutes depending on your internet speed. And there we go. The Akamai development environment is now fully installed and launched. We can now go ahead and use the environment for a wide variety of use cases. Managing your Akamai as code and deploy new configurations or configuration changes through the Akamai Terraform provider are now easily done due to the inclusion of Terraform. Purging content in one command because the Akamai Purge CLI package is also pre-installed. And we can even go ahead and troubleshoot our Akamai requests with the pragma headers, which can also be done because of the inclusion of curl. Now, as a bonus best practice, we recommend setting up an alias to run the request faster. Here we go ahead and bind akadef with the right request. This can help speed up commands as demonstrated in the following commands. In this example, we are running the akadef alias, which is actually underwater executing the Docker image. We're running the curl package inside of there. We're adding our Akamai pragma headers, and we're running that for a request, a test image that we have deployed here called Schrodinger's cat.png. Now, as you can see here with the X cache, this is actually an image that is right now being served in cache. So let's go ahead and actually purge this image from the Akamai Edge servers. And as you can see on the screen here, we again ran akadef, which is running Docker underwater. We're actually executing the Akamai CLI with the Akamai CLI purge package and running the invalidate command for this particular image. Now let's run our request again. And as you can see, we now have a refresh miss, meaning that the image was purged. Now this simple purge request is just one of many different use cases that you can use in order to use your Akamai development environment. I hope that this tutorial on getting started with the Akamai development environment has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start utilizing the toolbox that Akamai Developer provides. For more content, please visit developer.akamai.com where you can find more tutorials and information. Now, if you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me personally on social media under the handle @AkamaiMike. I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you again in our other tutorials. Good luck and happy Akamizing! Welcome to Getting Started with Akamai APIs. I am Mike Ellison, Developer Advocate at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started using the Akamai APIs and showing you how you can create an Akamai API client. Akamai offers a rich library of approximately 100 different APIs that will allow you to manage your Akamai solutions. Whether it is making configuration changes or retrieving the latest security events, the ability to execute these requests are available to you, and it's easier to start with than you might think. On our Akamai developer website, developer.akamai.com/API, you can find the entire Akamai API catalog. And in this video, I will just guide you through the process of creating an Akamai API client. Before we start, there are two prerequisites. First, in order to start using the API client, you have to create it. And this can only be provisioned from within the Akamai Control Center, and you will require the correct permissions in order to do so. If you are lacking these permissions, please reach out to an Akamai admin in your organization or contact your Akamai account team. And secondly, it is important to think about with which tool you will be making the API requests. Any major programming language that is able to make HTTPS requests will have the ability to make Akamai API requests, and we also have several tools supporting this. That said, let's get started with the basics and log into Akamai Control Center. Here we have Akamai Control Center, where we are going to be creating our Akamai API client. Navigate to the top left and click on the hamburger icon and scroll down to Identity and Access. You can also type in identity in the search bar. And here we have the Identity and Access Management tab, where you can manage your users and API clients. Click on the button New API Client for me. And here we have the Customize API Client page. On here you can choose between Quick and Advanced. For Quick, you have the ability to spin up an Akamai API client, giving you access to all the APIs, matching your permissions. But with Advanced, you have the ability to restrict access to only certain APIs or only certain groups. Click on Quick to create your API client. And here we have it. You have the ability to update the name and description fields to reflect the settings that you want to have for them. For instance, API client for the username. If we scroll down, you can find the credentials. You can click on the download button to download your credentials, or you can copy your credentials by clicking on the copy credential button and copy them to your clipboard. We recommend to store your credentials safely in a password manager or in a vault. Your credentials consist of a host, which is the API endpoint you can send your request to, as well as a client token, a client secret, and an access token. You also have the ability to edit your API client. Click on the button and it will load the Edit section. On the APIs, you have the ability to click on Select APIs. Now, if you've selected the Quick option, you'll have access to everything in your contract, and you then have the ability to manually update the settings for each API endpoint one by one. Just simply click on the field on the right, change your setting, and click on Submit. You also have the ability to select your groups similar to the APIs. Now, if you want to use your API client for purging content from the Akamai Edge network, you have the ability to select your purge options. For instance, purging by cache tags or purging by CP codes. Just select your options and click on Submit. Once you're done making your changes, click on Save and they will reflect automatically. If you click on Save, you will go back to the Identity and Access Management tab, where you can find that your API is now created. In the items on the right, you also have the options for additional options. You can transfer your API client to another user in case you change organizations. You also have the ability to deactivate all of your credentials, which is a mandatory step in order to delete the API from your account. Once deactivated, you see the delete option and you can go ahead and delete it. And there we have it. 5 minutes and you're able to create your Akamai API client with matching API credentials. With these tokens, you are now able to use the tool that you want to use your API keys with. This could be HTTPie, Postman, or injecting these keys in any programming language of your choosing. We have example code available on developer.akamai.com for the major programming languages. We also have other tutorials available in which we show you how to make your first API request with, for instance, Postman or HTTPie. I hope this tutorial on getting started with the Akamai APIs has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start using the Akamai APIs. For more content, please visit developer.akamai.com where you can find more tutorials and information. If you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media under the handle @AkamaiMike. Thank you very much for your time today, and of course, happy Akamizing. Welcome to Getting Started with Akamai APIs using Postman. I am Mike Ellison, Developer Evangelist at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started with the Akamai APIs using Postman. Akamai offers a rich library of approximately 100 different APIs that allow you to manage your Akamai solutions. And Postman is a free and easy to use API client that you can download for Mac, Windows, or Linux. And I recommend visiting postman.com for instructions on downloading the client. Once you've installed the client and once you've created an Akamai API client, you should be able to start making your first API request. If you're looking for help on how to create an API client, please watch the video Getting Started with Akamai APIs, Creating an API Client. For this tutorial, we will be using the API client and corresponding tokens that I created in that video. Let's navigate to Postman. Postman allows you to create API requests and store them in collections. My Postman workspace is currently empty, so let's start in the top left by creating a new request. We will give our request a unique name, Getting Started with Akamai, and create a collection called Getting Started. Now our request is able to be set up. First, we specify the HTTP method we want to use. Typically, for Akamai APIs, you select either GET or POST. In our first example, we will use GET. Next is the base URL to which we send requests, and you can find this in your API tokens. Important here is to use HTTPS in order to securely send the request. Any HTTP request will respond with a 400 error. Next, we have to specify the actual action we want to do. On developer.akamai.com/API, you can find the entire API catalog, including each option per API. In our example, we will use the Property Manager API and retrieve a list of contract and contract ideas that we have available to us. As you can see, you can find this here, and the request that we need to execute is /pappy/v1/contracts. Let's run the request. As you can see, we get an error, and that is correct behavior. This is because we have not yet properly authenticated the request with Akamai EdgeGrid. Otherwise, anyone in the world would be able to execute these actions, and we don't want that to happen for our customers. Postman allows us to easily inject the Akamai tokens under the Authorization tab in the request. By selecting Akamai EdgeGrid, you are then easily able to add your access token, your client token, and client secret. So we will add them right now and rerun the request. And there we go. we get the list of Akamai contracts returned. Now we know that our Akamai API client is working properly and requests can be made. With this, you can get started, and you're able to now dive deeper, start making other requests, perhaps to different APIs to manage your Akamai solutions. Important to note here is that for post requests, you do have to specify headers such as content type and of course the body for your request. Please carefully inspect the API catalog for which parameters are required and which are optional. Outside of the scope of this tutorial, Postman does allow you to store data in variables to help reuse your tokens easier and more securely. I recommend reading more about this in Postman help sections or their online documentation. I hope this tutorial on getting started with Akamai APIs has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start using the Akamai APIs. For more content, please visit developer.akamai.com where you can find more tutorials and information. If you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media under the handle Akamai Mike. I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you again in our other tutorials. Good luck and happy Akamizing! Welcome to Getting Started with Akamai APIs using HTTPie. I am Mike Ellison, Developer Advocate at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started with the Akamai APIs using HTTPie. Akamai offers a rich library of approximately 100 different APIs that allow you to manage your Akamai solutions. HTTPie is a free and easy to use command line interface that you can download for Mac, Windows, or Linux. HTTPie consists of a single HTTP command designed for painless debugging and interaction with HTTP servers, RESTful APIs, and web services. HTTPie comes pre-installed in the Akamai development environment. Feel free to watch the video Getting Started with the Akamai development environment for instructions on how to install it. Next, we need to authenticate our API requests. Once you have created an Akamai API client, you should be able to make your first API request. If you're looking for help on how to create an API client, please watch the video Getting Started with Akamai APIs, Creating an API Client. And for this tutorial, we will be using the API client and the corresponding tokens that I created in that video. You will need to modify your .hrc file in the root in order to set up the credentials properly. Now that we have that all configured, let's get started with HTTPie. The basic requests for Akamai APIs through HTTPie will look like the following format. We use HTTP to invoke HTTPie plugin. We use the --auth-type edge grid to ensure that we're using the edge grid authentication. And the -a default ensures that we're using this section in our .hrc file, which contains the tokens there. We have our dedicated host and the actual action that we want to do. As you can see here, we are going to be using the PAPI or Property Manager API version 1/contracts. On developer.akamai.com/API, you can find the entire API catalog, including each option per API. In our example, we will be using the Property Manager API to list the contracts, which /PAPI/v1/contracts. Let's run the request. And there we go. We get the list of Akamai contracts returned. Now we know that our Akamai API client is working properly and requests can be made. With this getting started, you are now able to dive deeper and start making other requests, perhaps to different APIs, to manage your Akamai solutions. Important to note here is that for post requests, you do need to specify headers such as content type and of course the body of your request. So please carefully inspect the Akamai API catalog for which parameters are required and which are optional. I hope this tutorial on getting started with Akamai APIs has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start using the Akamai APIs. For more content, please visit developer.akamai.com where you can find more tutorials and information. If you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media under the handle Akamai Mike. I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you again in our other tutorials. Good luck and happy Akamizing! Welcome to Getting Started with the Akamai CLI. I am Mike Ellison, a developer advocate at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started with the Akamai CLI, which is also known as the Akamai command line interface. Akamai offers a rich library of approximately 100 different APIs, and through the Akamai CLI, which basically acts as a wrapper for the majority of these APIs, you are able to manage your Akamai solutions easier, faster, and in a more automated way. The Akamai CLI is free to use and comes pre-installed in the Akamai development environment. Please watch the video Getting Started with the Akamai development environment for instructions on how to install it. Once installed, you will have the core Akamai CLI installed. The Akamai CLI can be extended with CLI packages which contain different functionality. For instance, the purge package offers the ability to purge content from Akamai Edge servers, and the application security or AppSec package will allow you to manage your Akamai security configurations. By default, each package comes with the Akamai package name help option to see the possible commands. Please keep in mind that each request you make through the Akamai CLI needs to be properly authenticated with Akamai Edge Grid. Once you have created an Akamai API client, you should be able to start making your first API request or CLI request. If you are looking for help on how to create an API client, please watch the video Getting Started with Akamai APIs, Creating an API Client. This will also work for the Akamai CLI. We need to modify our .hrc file in the root in order to set up the credentials properly. Ensure that you add in default as well as the other sections, for instance CCU for purging, to use the Akamai CLI. Now that we have all of that configured, let's get started with the Akamai CLI. In this basic example, we will be using the Akamai purge package to purge content from the edge. And we have a test image called Schrodinger's cat.png. Through this curl command, which is another great tool to have in your toolbox, we can run the Akamai request with the Akamai pragma headers. And here we can observe the Xcache hit, which means that the image is actually in cache. By running the command Akamai purge invalidate with the right URL, we can send in the purge request. Of course, you will need to ensure that your API request has actually proper read-write permissions to purge. Let's run the purge request, and as you can see here, it took roughly 5 seconds to complete. Let's run another curl request to show that the image is no longer in cache. Here you can observe the Xcache miss header, which means that the image is no longer in cache. And there we have it. We have installed the Akamai CLI and used the purge package to purge content from the Akamai servers. You are now able to dive deeper and install different packages to manage your Akamai solutions. There's a wide variety of packages available, and I encourage you to take a look and see what can help you on your path. I hope this tutorial on getting started with the Akamai CLI has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start using the Akamai CLI. For more content, please visit the developer.akamai.com where you can find more tutorials and information. If you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media under the handle @AkamaiMike. I want to thank you very much for your time today and hope to see you again in our other tutorials. Good luck and happy Akamizing. Welcome to Getting Started with the Akamai Terraform Provider. I am Mike Ellison, Developer Advocate at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started with the Akamai Terraform Provider. Terraform is a tool for building, changing, and versioning infrastructure safely and efficiently. Terraform is the first multi-vendor infrastructure tool that was created by HashiCorp, and the simple syntax that Terraform uses and the ability to combine infrastructure from multiple technology vendors in one makes Terraform a great tool in every company's DevOps toolkit. Akamai offers the Akamai Terraform Provider, which allows you to manage your Akamai solutions. And the Akamai Terraform Provider is officially reviewed and approved by HashiCorp. The full documentation on what you can do with the Akamai Terraform Provider can be found on the Terraform website. Now, Terraform comes pre-installed in the Akamai development environment, but can also be installed separately. Authentication of Terraform configurations rely on Akamai Edge Grid. The Akamai Terraform Provider code acts as a wrapper for the Akamai APIs and reuses the same authentication mechanism found in there. We recommend storing your API credentials in the .hrc file or using the HashiCorp vault if you are using this in conjunction with Terraform. Now, for more information on that, we recommend watching the videos Getting Started with the Akamai Development Environment and Getting Started with Akamai APIs, Creating an API Client, for details on installation and creating an API client with the right credentials. Moving back to Terraform, Terraform configurations consist of a simple syntax that reference a provider. Each provider comes with data sources that can be referenced as well as resources that you can create. For instance, a CP code or contract ID is a data source that can be used inside of an Akamai property resource. Example Terraform configurations for the Akamai Terraform provider can be found on GitHub. Now let's take a look at how this works. And in this demo, we will show you how you can manage your DNS records through the Akamai Terraform provider. What you see here is the schrodingerstudios.com DNS file, in which I'm actually calling the provider Akamai. I'm referencing my .hrc file. And here we have created a zone called Schrodinger Studios. And in here you can see I have the Akamai DNS record resource that I call .dub, and the name of it is www.schrodingerstudios.com. And I'm basically saying that this is a CNAME mapped to Akamai, and that is just one of the resources. Now I can use this for many different resources, but let's uncomment this one to actually create a Terraform one. Now if we navigate to the right folder, I can type in Terraform init, make sure that the provider is initialized. After saving the file, we can run the command Terraform plan. And in here, you will see that it will now ask for a new resource to be created, a Akamai DNS record called Terraform. Now you can actually execute this by typing in Terraform apply. It will do the same checks and tell you again, are you sure that you want to apply this? If you hit yes, this record will now actually be created through the Akamai Edge DNS service. In the next part of this demo, we will also be showcasing you how you can use the Akamai Terraform provider to manage your delivery configurations as well as make changes to your configurations. Let's take a look at the Schrodinger Studios Terraform configuration that I have here. Now at the top, we are again referencing the provider, and we're also calling a data source, which is a local file, which is a JSON file that I've called schrodinger-com.rules.json, and you can see that here. In this particular file, we have all the relevant Akamai rules and subrules that will make up the Akamai delivery configuration. All the settings that I have in here, including caching settings, origin server, etc. And in this particular case, I'm utilizing net storage, but you can actually use any type of origin that you want. Now moving back to the Schrodinger Studios configuration for Terraform, we're also utilizing the Akamai contract, Akamai group, make sure that it's stored in the right way, as well as the resource CP code, where we're actually creating a brand new CP code for use with our IAN product called www.schrodingerstudios.com, as well as an Edge hostname that we need in order to map it to Akamai. Now here we have the actual resource, Akamai property. We're calling it schrodingerstudios.com, and a contact email, schrodingerstudios@gmail.com. And again, we're specifying that we want to use the ION product, utilizing the contract, group, and CP code that we used before. And in here, we are also specifying the host names that this configuration is for, including www.staging, and the top level schrodingerstudios.com. We're specifying our rule format to be the latest, and we're actually here calling the rules to be the content of the local file. Now you can also activate it directly through Akamai through utilizing here the resource Akamai property activation, as well as production if you specify network production. And that's how you can deploy directly through staging and production. Thanks to the new fast configuration activation, the deployment on staging should take around 3 to 5 minutes, and deployment on production should take around 10 minutes to complete. And there we go. We are now able to manage our Akamai as code through the Akamai Terraform provider. I hope this tutorial on getting started with the Akamai Terraform provider has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start using the toolbox that Akamai Developer provides. For more content, please visit developer.akamai.com, where you can find more tutorials and information. If you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media under the handle @AkamaiMike. I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you again in our other tutorials. Good luck and happy Akamizing. Welcome to using curl to troubleshoot Akamai requests. I am Mike Ellison, a developer advocate at Akamai Technologies, and today I will be guiding you through this short tutorial on how to get started with curl to troubleshoot your Akamai requests. Curl is a fantastic command line tool that you can use to send HTTP and HTTPS requests similar to a web browser. Curl offers the ability to add custom HTTP headers, including the Akamai Pragma headers, to help troubleshoot your requests, ranging from checking error codes to checking whether an object is properly cached or not, or verifying that you're connected to the right Akamai Edge server, for instance, to test if you're testing against Akamai staging Edge servers. For more information on curl, please visit curl.hex.sc to find out more information. Curl comes pre-installed with the Akamai development environment. For instructions on how to install the Akamai development environment, please watch the video Getting Started with the Akamai development environment. Let's get started with curl. In your terminal, you are able to run the curl command. Curl comes included with tons of options, and with the curl-help command, you can find more information. The most important options to remember are curl-h, which offers the ability to specify custom headers with their values, as well as -I to output the headers on screen. Please make sure that you use capital for both of these. The Akamai Pragma headers can be added by specifying the -H option, which includes quotes Pragma, which is the name of the header, and then the value of this header and end quotes. The full set of these headers can be found in the description below. Now let's run a first curl request for an image running through Akamai. Here we can observe the following. First, we get an HTTP 1.1 200 OK, which means that this was a successful request. And here you have the xCheck cacheable setting, which is a Boolean, which basically means that if the value is yes, that the object Schrodinger's cat.png can be cached according to the settings in the Akamai delivery configuration. If this contains a no, it means that this file, for whatever reason, cannot be cached. In my delivery configuration, I have a setting that makes sure that all PNG files can be cached. You also have the xcache option, which shows whether or not an object is actually in cache served from the Edge server that you're connected with. The TCP miss option, of course, means that the object is not in cache. if we were to rerun the request, we now see that the X-cache section has changed to TCP hit, meaning that the object has been cached and is now in cache. Not visible on this second request, but on this first request, we actually do see the X-cache remote, which means that it was a hit. This has to do with the Akamai tiered distribution, which means that there is an Akamai parent edge server that had the image in cache. Now, please also note that each request comes with a unique ID, X Akamai request ID, that you can use for further troubleshooting. In case something goes wrong, you can use this request ID for Akamai technical support or Akatech. And often it helps to just do a complete output of your curl file and send it over to your Akamai technical support representative. Curl can also be a great way for you to test with Akamai staging. In combination with looking up an Akamai staging server and modifying your hosts file, you can run curl requests and should receive the x-akamai-staging header to verify that you're testing against the right Akamai Edge platform. By running a dig command against your Akamai hostname, you will get production IP addresses back. These are Akamai Edge servers that are running in production. By adding -staging to the Akamai hostname, not your own hostname, but the Akamai hostname, you should receive a Akamai staging IP address that you can then add in your hosts file. On macOS, this can be done by using the vi/etc/hosts. And as you can see, I had already added this in here, and so we're just going to uncomment it and save it. And we're going to rerun our curl request right now. And as you can see, we now see the x-akamai-staging mapped to Edge Suite. This means that we're now testing against an Edge server. And again, the object was not in cache. If we run it again, we can see that it's now in cache. And here you can see the actual Edge server that we're connected to, which is a staging server. So this is a great way for you to help use curl and troubleshoot your Akamai requests. In this video, we showcase the basics of using curl, and there are plenty of other options out there, so I encourage you to experiment. I hope that this tutorial on using curl to troubleshoot your Akamai requests has been helpful for you and has given you the knowledge to start using curl. For more content, please visit developer.akamai.com, where you can find more tutorials and information. If you have any questions on Akamai Developer, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media under the handle @AkamaiMike. I want to thank you very much for your time today and hope to see you again in our other tutorials. Good luck and happy Akamizing. Welcome to Akamai Developer Foundations. This is the 5th part of the training course, and in the 4th part, we showcase the Getting Started with Akamai Developer series, and you should now feel more comfortable with executing basic actions using any of the main Akamai Developer tools. If you haven't consumed that yet and you're wondering why you're here, please feel free to take a look at the 4th part. That said, in this 5th part, we will go over and go through how you can best talk about Akamai Developer. Now, this is aimed at customers and partners who work with different teams for whom Akamai is new, as well as, of course, internal Akamai resources who are talking about Akamai Developer to their customers and partners, and what to showcase the value of Akamai Developer and how these tools fit best in the DevOps toolchain. Now, as mentioned before, a DevOps workflow or toolchain is, of course, a set of combination of tools that aid in the delivery, development, and management of software applications throughout the system's development lifecycle, and is coordinated by an organization that uses DevOps practices. Again, Akamai Developer brings the Akamai Developer Toolbox to the table, each with a specific focus area such as Akamai as Code, Akamai as Data, or Akamai Plus Ecosystem to help each of these 7 stages in the DevOps workflow. Now let's talk about Akamai Developer and go over some of the best practices. We believe that in a 30-minute conversation or meeting, you should be able to communicate what Akamai Developer is and the value that Akamai Developer brings. In general, the content that we outlined here The second part, what is Akamai Developer, which explains the Akamai Developer trifecta, and the third part, the DevOps Workflow, which explains how Akamai Developer fits in the DevOps workflow of an organization, are typically the best ways to start a conversation about Akamai Developer. Now first, the goal for this conversation is to keep your audience in mind and take into consideration that Akamai Developer, or in certain cases, just Akamai itself, can be brand new to your audience. It is helpful to set this baseline by explaining what Akamai is and how Akamai Developer fits into the overall Akamai story. Explaining Akamai Developer and how it fits into the DevOps workflow is a great eye-opener for the audience and helps categorize the different elements that make up Akamai Developer. Now, during the conversation, it is also a good idea to level set on the different DevOps tools that you or your customer or partner are already using in their current DevOps workflow. Establishing which tools are in use and where Akamai Developer can come into play will be important for creating action items and a plan on integrating Akamai Developer. For instance, if GitHub is in use to manage infrastructure as code today, an action item could be to migrate all Akamai delivery and security configurations as code to GitHub through the use of the Akamai Property Manager API or Property Manager CLI and start storing configurations as code. Thirdly, is to talk about the Akamai Developer trifecta. The Akamai Developer trifecta with the accompanying tools is a great eye-opener. And this can really help showcasing Akamai as code, Akamai as data, and the Akamai Plus ecosystem. Now, and of course, as mentioned, it is great to outline actions and next steps as well during this meeting. Now let's talk about visual material. As with any demo or presentation, having useful material such as whiteboards, slide decks, or reference architectures can be extremely helpful and a great tool during your conversation. Now the best practice here is less is more. Having 3 to 5 slides to accompanying the Akamai Developer conversation can be helpful. And the slides that you've seen before in this Akamai Developer Foundations training course can serve as a great starting point for visual resources. The Akamai Developer trifecta with the accompanying tools is a great eye-opener. And of course, the DevOps workflow can be very helpful as a talk track to go through each phase and highlight how Akamai Developer fits in. A final helpful tool is the Akamai Developer Resources slide, which we'll showcase in the next part as well. The Getting Started with Akamai Developer page is a great follow-up after the initial conversation. Anyone should be able to go into this page and calmly go through each of the sections to get a better understanding on how to start using Akamai Developer. And by the end of the conversation, it is again very helpful for all parties to have a clear action list on where to go next with Akamai Developer. This can help set up a follow-up conversation to help with completing action items, as well as take the time to answer additional questions if they are not done offline. Now, if you're interested, we encourage you to watch the recording on presenting Akamai Developer, which acts as an example presentation with a fictional customer. Now, with that, we believe that you are now equipped with not only the necessary knowledge to utilize the tools, but to also go out and start using Akamai Developer and have a conversation with your teams, your customers, your partners, or even your prospects to discuss Akamai Developer. In the sixth part, however, we will go over and go ahead and share where you can find additional resources and where you can go for help outside of this Akamai Developer Foundations training course. We hope that we've explained how you can talk about Akamai Developer in a structured way with the recommended resources to use. We look forward to welcoming you in the sixth part, resources and recap on Akamai Developer. As always, thank you very much for your time on this training course, and let's continue on your Akamai Developer journey. Welcome to Akamai Developer Foundations, and this is the sixth and last part of the training course. In the fifth part, we equipped you with best practices on how to talk about Akamai Developer, and to present this to your teams, customers, partners, or even prospects. If you haven't consumed that yet and you're wondering why you're here, please feel free to take a look at the 5th part. That said, in this 6th part, we will go through the additional resources and offer a recap on Akamai Developer. Now, this acts as the penultimate part of the training course. And in the 7th part, you are invited to go at your own pace through the Akamai Developer Foundations Lab to take the learnings and put them into practice and start using the Akamai Developer tools. Now, outside of the Akamai Developer Foundations training course and the Getting Started with Akamai Developer page, there are several great resources that you can utilize. First, let's talk about the Akamai Developer website, developer.akamai.com. It is the best next step outside of the Getting Started page. The full API catalog, the Akamai API catalog, is available there to look over any actions that you can execute with the Akamai APIs or the wrapper tools. Additionally, there are also full tutorials on any of the main Akamai as Code, Akamai as Data, or Akamai Plus ecosystem use cases, and we really recommend you to take advantage of the resources that are available there. Secondly, you can find more information about the Akamai developer tools on the official Akamai GitHub, www.github.com/Akamai. Here you can find repositories with the tools or even code examples, as well as installation instructions that can help you on your Akamai developer journey. Thirdly, if you enjoy video content, tutorials, demos, an archive of webinars, we invite you to take a look at the Akamai Developer YouTube, www.youtube.com/Akamai Developer. Here you can find additional content in video format that can also help you greatly on your Akamai Developer journey. Now, with the Akamai Developer webinar series, which we launched in 2020, you can find an archive of these previous webinars, which acts as a great treasure trove of information for Akamai Developer and the tutorials that we've outlined, which are also available on the main website. Now, if you have any follow-up questions based on this Akamai Developer Foundations training course or any of the mentioned resources, we invite you to get in contact with any of the Akamai Developer advocates that are available to you. Now, currently, as of summer 2020, we have 2 primary developer advocates available to you. We have Javier Garza, who is based in San Francisco, and Mike Ellison, based in Amsterdam. You can contact them on social media through Twitter or LinkedIn, or even internal resources can, of course, use chat or email to get in contact with them. Now, of course, for customers and partners, you can also get in contact with your Akamai account team. They can help you answer your questions or direct them either through the developer advocates that I just mentioned, or the large group of Akamai developer champions that we also have available worldwide. And as a final note for internal Akamai resources is, of course, to use the Akamai Developer Aloha page. Aloha is our internal website where you can find more information. Now, with that, we believe that you are now equipped with the necessary knowledge to go out and start using Akamai Developer or have a conversation with your teams, your customers, your partners, or even your prospects to discuss Akamai Developer. Now, we hope that with this Akamai Developer Foundations, we have clearly explained these 4 key areas. Understand what Akamai Developer is, which tools are available in the Akamai Developer Toolbox, and how you can best utilize them. Understand how you can get started with Akamai Developer, including the prerequisites for making your very first action with any of the main Akamai Developer tools. Understand how to discuss and talk about Akamai Developer and show the value of using the toolbox in conjunction with DevOps Workflows and the Akamai solutions across our portfolio. And finally, where to go and understand to find more information, more resources to get answers to your questions. Now, we invite you to take these learnings and put them to good use by completing the Akamai Developer Foundations Lab. This aims to help you get set up with all the Akamai Developer tools we discussed, as well as help you have a working environment for any future Akamai Developer use cases and projects that you might want to work on. Again, for additional information and use cases, as mentioned before, we invite you to take a look at developer.akamai.com, where you can really find more additional tutorials on common use cases for each of the 3 major areas: Akamai as Code, Akamai as Data, and Akamai Plus ecosystem. Now, just for instance, we have a very detailed Akamai Terraform provider and GitHub tutorials to fully automate your infrastructure as code as a great next step. Now, we also have tutorials on how you can best utilize Akamai as data through data stream and or SIM integration. Another great step if that's what you want to go for. And then, of course, if you're looking for any tutorials on how to integrate Akamai Developer with your other vendors or technologies, you can find them as well. Now, we want to thank you very much, but first, we would like to welcome you to invite us to send us your feedback after going through this Akamai Developer Foundations training course. And please feel free to fill in the survey that is attached, which can help us fine-tune this content and optimize the training course for future participants. We want to make it the best that it can be. Now, as always, thank you very much for your time on this training course if you made it all the way to the end. And we hope that you will continue on your Akamai developer journey. My name is Mike Ellison. You can find me on social media under @AkamaiMike, and I'm always happy to help you out. Again, thank you very much for your time, and happy Akamizing.